Hey there, welcome back. If you have been following this journey, you know we have been hearing straight from the kids their joys, their worries, their wisdom. And honestly, they have taught me more than I expected. Over the summer, I had the chance to have some really heartwarming, honest, and surprisingly deep conversations with kids across three age groups: elementary schoolers, preteens, and teens. And let me tell you, they had way more wisdom to offer than I expected. If you haven't listened to those episodes yet, I will drop the links in the show notes. And before we move into the expert insights, I wanted to take a moment to share my reflections, the lessons that really stuck with me, and why they might matter to you too. Think of this as the bridge between what the kids taught us and the guidance experts can give. But today, I want to share three lessons I walked away with each of those groups and how they are shaping the way I parent and honestly how I show up as a human being. Welcome to the Conscious Children Project, a podcast by Mudita Circles. I am your host, Shruti Desai, a parent, kids yoga educator, and someone who left 12 years in the corporate world to walk a more intentional path. This podcast is a space to slow down and to reconnect with what truly matters. Not just how we nurture our children, but how we grow alongside them. Each season, we explore themes close to the heart of childhood and consciousness. Let's begin. You will notice how the themes kind of build on each other, from the simplicity of younger kids to the complexity of the teen years. Yet all of them circle back to one thing: connection. So let's start with the little ones, our elementary kids. What struck me most from the youngest kids was how much they thrive on the small wins. Kids at this age don't need grand gestures to feel special. They light up over the smallest things: a golden star, a high five, 5 extra minutes before bedtime, or getting to choose what's for dinner. One little girl told me she feels happiest when her parents decorate the house for special occasions.
I like what makes my heart glow is when they spend time with me, make a celebration for me, like when we have a party or something, or on my birthday.
Mhm.
It's like makes me happy when they all plan this for me, and I feel really loved with cuddles, celebration. Even when it's a special event for me or a special day, like when I get a certificate or something, I like when they celebrate and decorate the house sometimes, and it makes me feel really loved and full of gifts in my heart.
That's it. No fancy toy, no big reward, just being noticed and being celebrated. And that really made me pause. Because if we are honest, most of us prayed for these little humans to be here. But life happens: routines, responsibilities, to do lists, and we forget to celebrate them, not just for what they do, but for who they are. Now, I try to notice the small moments more: when they help a sibling, finish homework without a meltdown, or try something new. Sometimes it's a silly dance party, sometimes it's a sticky note in a lunchbox, or just a simple "I am proud of you." Just last week, my younger one, who's potty training, finally sat on the potty after many refusals. He looked up to me and said, "Mama, are you proud of me?" I wanted to laugh, but I paused, smiled, and said, "Yes, I am proud of you." Then I called my husband and older son over to celebrate too. He danced around the room with the biggest smile. And it reminded me again that what feels small to us can feel huge to them. Another big takeaway from the little ones: they want comfort before advice. They don't want a solution right away. They want to be heard, they want to be hugged, and not hurried. And that hit home because I often jump into fixing mode. But since these conversations, I've been trying to pause, listen fully, and acknowledge feelings before jumping into solutions. It's not perfect, but sometimes I literally have to pinch myself to stop offering my 2 cents. But I'm learning that validation often opens the door for real guidance later. And the third lesson that I learned was that every single child I spoke to mentioned this.
I really enjoy what they do with me so far, but if they could do one more thing, I would probably want them to go on trips a little more often because I feel like we're always in Seattle area.
Mhm.
So I really like going to
Go
this,
on
but
vacation.
really pretty happy with what I have.
They notice how much we work. They see us on our laptops. They respect that we are working hard, but they miss us. Many said they wish their parents could take a few weeks off just to travel or to spend time together without any work being involved. They aren't asking for grand vacations, they just want our presence. That one stayed with me. And I hope to, take time off, not maybe just to go on vacations, maybe just go around the town as well. Whether it is a small ride to, get a cup of ice cream or anything that they feel or make them feel special. After talking to the younger kids, I realized something. They live so close to joy. It's in the little things, the celebrations, the cuddles, the moments of attention. But as kids grow, that simplicity starts to shift. Their emotions deepen, their self awareness grows, and suddenly connection looks different. And that's what I discovered next in my conversations with the preteens. Preteens had so much to say about how they are perceived. They don't like being labeled, even playfully, as sensitive or moody. It makes them feel boxed in. Their feelings are real and they want that it to be recognized.
If I had to choose a different thing, I'd probably tell my parents, like both my parents, that I don't like being sensitive. I mean, it's just my personal opinion because I have a reason to be angry or sad. And whenever I tell my dad that, he starts laughing. And then I get even more angry and then he calls me sensitive. And I
Mhm.
don't like being called sensitive because I have a completely valid reason to be mad or sad.
It reminded me to be more mindful of my words because sometimes what feels like gentle teasing to us can feel like judgment to them. The second thing that I learned from them was they actually want to spend time with us, but on their terms. They might not always ask directly, but they want us to insist. They want us to ask them twice. If they say no, for the first time that you approach them, they want us to ask them again, invite them over, and make sure you're inviting them or asking them at the time when they are idle, not when they are occupied or preoccupied with something else. And so wait for a time and then jump in and ask for them to spend some time with you or maybe have a chat together. That actually surprised me. It was a pleasant surprise. I thought as kids grew, they'd rather hang out with friends or scroll on screens. But no, they still crave our company, which is amazing to know, even if they pretend they don't. It reminded me of something author Sahil Bloom once said that the years our kids need us the most often overlap with the years we are busiest building our careers. He emphasizes taking time out, making extra effort to make our kids feel special, and really being present, especially in those first 10 years. According to him, that window is crucial, and if we miss it, we can't get it back. Similarly, renowned psychoanalyst Erica points out that careers can wait. We have a lifetime to build work and achievements, but those windows of connection with our children, they can't be reopened later. Both are essentially saying the same thing. Those early years are vital. It's up to us how we choose to navigate them. Maybe you prioritize your kids first and then focus on your career, or you strike a middle ground like I am trying to do, working during quiet hours, dedicating focus time when my kids are present. The choice is ours, but the bottom line is don't miss those initial years. As someone building a new business, this podcast, and a kids' yoga journey, or rather, I'm learning to draw the line and not let work and spending time with children cross over. As much as I can, it's not perfect, but I'm slowly getting there. This episode is brought to you by Pia, a personal care brand rooted in the wisdom of Ayurveda and made with natural, organic ingredients. Just like our approach to parenting and mindfulness, Pia is all about gentle care, meaningful connection, and honoring time tested traditions. And with every purchase, Pia gives back because true beauty starts with care. Explore their nourishing skincare at piabeauty.com and enjoy 20% off your order with the code TCCP20 just for our listeners. My older son once said, Mama, your laptop job was better. That hit me hard. But it also reminded me to slow down, to be more mindful with my time. I still make mistakes, but I'm learning to be okay with that as long as I own them. And just like you, I'm figuring it out one day, one small moment at a time. But coming back to the lessons from the preteens, one of my favorite things a preteen said was,
I mean, the only rule in my house is like common sense.
the only rule in their household is to use common sense. So simple, so wise. Imagine growing up with that foundation just to pause and think before you act. I am definitely borrowing that one for my household. Talking to preteens felt like peeking into the in between. They are not little anymore, but not quite teens yet. They are figuring themselves out, testing boundaries, and wanting both freedom and reassurance. And then you get to the teenagers. And honestly, I went in expecting resistance, but what I found was depth, honesty, and a real desire to be understood. Their emotions deepen, their self awareness grows, and suddenly connection looks different. That's what I discovered next in my conversations with the teens. Teens often get misunderstood, but the ones I spoke with were full of clarity and truth. Here's what stood out.
I think that's something that my parents kind of do well would be like remembering. So like if I tell them something, they won't like forget it the next day, or like they might ask follow-up questions, or if I say like, "Oh, this is like my favorite snack" or something, they'll like get it at the store. So like stuff like that, it's like I don't know, sweet, I guess.
They notice when we remember the little things, One teen said she felt so cared when her dad remembered something she had mentioned weeks earlier. That small act of attention meant the world. And they crave trust, not just rules. One teen told me, if parents are too strict, we will just find a way around it. And that hit me hard. Because if we lead only with control, we don't build trust, we build secrecy. Trust begins when we trust them first. That's a hard one, but I believe if we start early and lay the foundation, it is probably easier to build on top of it. And this is the one that I keep wondering, how can I open the space for the trust to grow and evolve? The trust to build in, that they feel safe, that they can come and share anything with us. This is something I am still figuring this out, experimenting with giving independence, offering space, and learning what real trust looks like as kids grow. I don't have all the answers yet, but I'm curious, and I did love to hear what's worked for you. And coming back to the third one that they said, which really surprised me or was really eye opening for me, was
I think one big misconception, like not like just parents and kids, like the older generation and like Gen Z or like the now generation, is that we don't know how to live without technology. I hear that a lot. And I hear that like Gen Z doesn't know how to live alone. And I think what some generations fail to consider is how we were raised and how the world looks right now. Especially here, like everything's so pricey. So first of all, living in a single house home isn't cheap. It's much more expensive than it was in 1980, probably when they were born, like when whoever is saying that when they were born. And like our generation was born with iPads being invented already. So we grew up knowing how to use it. And honestly, technology isn't going to go away anytime soon. So it's much better if we do know how to use it. And we also know how to do like things without technology, which I don't think gets acknowledged often.
they aren't choosing screens instead of us. They often don't have other options, and that's why they end up with screens. Many said they did spend more time outside or with friends if they could, but they can't drive yet, or it's not always safe. So screens become the easy fallback, not because they prefer it, but because it's what's available. And something beautiful, when I asked them, what are the parents doing right? They had such thoughtful answers. They see how hard their parents work. They don't expect perfection. They just want honesty. One boy told me his mom forgot about an event they had planned, but she admitted her mistake and promised to make it right. He wasn't mad. He appreciated that she owned it and was ready to make up for it. So much wisdom from such young voices. Their words have been replaying in my head, gently reminding me what really matters. And as I reflect on all of it, here are the three lessons I keep coming back to. From the little ones is to celebrate the small wins. They remember them and it makes them feel special and it ends up being their core memory. And from the preteens episode, make time and ask them twice. They actually want us to insist. And from the teens, make sure to remember the little things and lead with trust. These conversations have changed me. They are shaping how I parent, slowly and intentionally. I still mess up. I still get it wrong. But I'm more present now, more aware. And maybe that's what our kids really need. Not perfect parents, but human ones. Parents who try, who listen, who grow. Thank you so much for listening and for being a part of this journey with me. I hope something in today's episode made you pause, maybe reflect on your own child, or on the way we show up for the little humans in our lives. I did truly love to hear what stayed with you or something your child has unexpectedly taught you. Those moments of learning from them are what this project is really about. As always, one child, one breath at a time. And before we wrap up, a little sneak peek of what's coming up next. You will hear from an early childhood expert as we explore living with kindness and nurturing children rooted in values. We will talk about how both home and school can play a role in shaping empathy, compassion, and self-awareness, and why starting early makes all the difference. That episode drops on November 20th. Tune in wherever you listen to your podcast. Until then, take a deep breath, hold your little ones close, and remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about being present. Thank you. Take care. And thanks again to our lovely sponsor, Pia. Remember, you can use the code TCCP20 at piabeauty.com to get 20% off. Thank you. Take care.